You're banned from Thanksgiving until you apologize to your cousin, my mother said over speakerphone, and someone in the background actually laughed. She can eat leftovers in the garage. What they didn't realize was that I had been quietly supporting their entire lifestyle for the past 3 years. What happened when I finally said enough will leave you stunned. My name is Emma, and this is how I learned that family loyalty can sometimes be a one-way street built on your own money. If you've ever been treated like the family disappointment while secretly being the family ATM, hit that subscribe button. Like this video if you believe respect should come before financial support. And stay with me because this story proves that sometimes the most powerful word in any language is simply no. Let's get into this story of boundaries and consequences. I'm Emma Rodriguez. I'm 28 years old, and for the past 3 years, I've been the invisible support system holding up my family's entire financial life. I work as a junior financial analyst, the kind of person who turns chaos into order, late payments into clean credit, and somehow makes numbers work even when they shouldn't. It all started innocently. When my dad had heart surgery 2 years ago, insurance covered most of it, but those out-of-pocket costs were brutal. I stepped in because that's what family does, right? You help when someone is drowning. But once I threw them a lifeline, they decided I was their permanent rescue plan. First, it was just the family phone plan, just until next month. Then the internet bill, because you're good with tech, Emma. Then dad's prescriptions, mom's car payment. And somehow, my quiet yes became the floor everyone walked on without ever noticing who was holding them up. I wasn't rich. I drove a 2015 Honda that made weird noises every time I turned left. I lived in a tiny studio apartment that was basically a closet with a kitchen. I ate more ramen than I'd ever admit. But I had something my family didn't: discipline, organization, and the ability to pay bills on time. What I didn't have was the strength to say no to them. The irony wasn't lost on me. They joked about my small contributions while their mortgage autopay came straight from my account. They laughed at my old car while using the internet I paid for to stream shows and mock me in the family group chat. And that group chat? It lit up on a Tuesday afternoon like a warning signal. Final head count for Thanksgiving, my mom typed, followed by a list of names scrolling like a guest list for a party I'd unknowingly been funding. My name wasn't there. I stared at my phone, reading the list again and again, like maybe I'd missed something, like maybe there was invisible ink that would reveal my place at the table I'd been paying for. I typed, "Did you forget me?" The typing bubbles appeared and disappeared before my cousin Marcus finally replied, "Limited seating. Try Christmas, if you can behave." If I can behave, like I was a misbehaving child instead of the adult who had been quietly keeping their finances afloat for 3 years. I called my mom immediately. The sound on the other end felt like walking into a party already in full swing. Dishes clinking, laughter echoing, family gathering. Without me. "You're not invited until you apologize to Marcus for embarrassing him at his promotion dinner," she said, her voice sharp with disappointment. Embarrassing him? You mean asking why he keeps borrowing rent money while bragging about his sales bonuses? I shot back, heat rising in my chest. From the background, Uncle Pete laughed loudly. "There she goes again, Little Miss Accountant." That nickname stung because it meant to. In their world, caring about money, even when it was your own money keeping them afloat, made you petty. I swallowed the anger building in my throat and said something that surprised even me. "Fine, but if you want to talk about drama, stop using my debit card for autopay on half your bills." Silence. Then a door slammed and the call ended. 10 minutes later, Aunt Carmen texted me, "Don't make this about money. Family comes first." Then she posted a Thanksgiving photo on Facebook. A long table filled with food, candles glowing, everyone smiling, everyone tagged, except one person, me. I set my phone down and stared at the wall, feeling the weight of a decision I had been avoiding for months. the choice to stop being their safety net and start being their equal. Thanksgiving Day came like a slap, delivered through social media. My feed was full of golden turkeys, perfect side dishes, and captions about gratitude and family. Around 3 p.m., my mom texted me, "Saved you a plate, porch pickup after 6. Porch pickup, like I was a delivery driver instead of her daughter. Later that evening, I drove past their house. The foil-wrapped plate sat on the front steps, already cold in the November air. A neighbor's cat sniffed around it, more interested than my own family had been in me. I left it there on purpose. The next morning, I decided to treat myself. Coffee and a bagel at a small bakery downtown, a tiny act of rebellion against the heaviness in my chest. As I stood in line, Aunt Carmen suddenly appeared beside me. "Emma, sweetie," she said loudly, making sure everyone could hear. "She's been having a hard time lately, very sensitive about success." She turned to the cashier like she was explaining how to handle a difficult customer. Someone behind me whispered, "Yikes." The cashier avoided eye contact. I walked out without ordering, sat in my car, watched my breath fog up the windshield until it slowly faded. Then my phone rang. Marcus. "Hey, can you lend me $800 for Ashley's Christmas gift? I'll pay you back Monday, promise." The audacity was unreal. He had helped exclude me from Thanksgiving, and now he wanted money? Again? "We'd all feel better if you just apologized and stopped being so difficult," he added. "You know, family takes care of each other." That phrase, the same line they'd used for 3 years to justify taking without giving. I hung up without saying a word. Then I opened my notes app. For the next hour, I wrote everything down. Dates, amounts, reasons, Dad's surgery, Mom's car payments, the electric bill they forgot twice, the internet, Marcus's emergencies, Aunt Carmen's credit cards. None of it had been temporary. At the top of the page, I wrote one sentence. "What they don't know is about to save me." That evening, my dad called. "Hey, I just need a quick $400 for a security deposit before the bank closes Monday," he said casually, like I didn't have my own life, my own bills, my own limits. Money didn't just magically appear in my account out of nowhere. In his voice, I could hear that same casual expectation, the one that had made everyone else's life easier while mine kept shrinking. I heard 3 years of taking my yes for granted. I turned off my notifications and let my phone vibrate itself into silence on the couch. What they didn't know was that I had everything saved. Every receipt, every bank screenshot, every message. Who asked for what, when they asked, what I paid, and every promise that next time would be different. What they didn't know was that I still controlled the family phone plan. No one ever wanted the responsibility of transferring it. I had the internet login, and I had the auto-pay authorization for my parents' mortgage, details they never even tried to understand. What they also didn't know was that my mentor at work, Grace, had once told me something that changed everything. Boundaries aren't walls, they're love with a backbone. That weekend, I put together something I privately called The Reckoning. Just a simple binder from an office supply store, filled with printed bank statements, highlighted transactions, and a cover page that read, "This is what I did for you, and this is what I won't do anymore." By Sunday evening, I went through my banking apps like I was defusing a bomb, because in a way, I was. I canceled the mortgage autopay, removed my payment details from the electric company, switched the phone plan to prepaid accounts, and sent everyone their new numbers. Everything was clean, legal, completely within my control. On Monday morning, Marcus posted an Instagram story, plates of leftover turkey and stuffing, with the caption, "Real family loyalty isn't about money." The irony didn't even touch him. I muted his account and felt my world get a little quieter. Later that day, while grocery shopping, I overheard Uncle Pete in the next aisle saying, "We've got her back in line. She'll come around when she realizes she needs us more than we need her." I didn't react. I just paid for my groceries and slipped the receipt into my wallet like a quiet promise to myself. By Sunday evening, my mom left a voicemail that started soft and turned sharp. "Since you refuse to apologize, don't bother coming to Christmas either, and spare us the dramatic spreadsheets. No one wants to hear it."
like my proof of everything I'd done was somehow an attack instead of the truth. I listened once, then again, then I deleted it. And for the first time, the silence in my apartment felt peaceful instead of lonely. Friday morning, everything unraveled. The mortgage payment bounced, my mom said when I answered, her voice panicked. The bank is calling. What happened? Something inside me settled, heavy but steady. I'll be there in an hour, I said, grabbing the binder. At their kitchen table, with dim light cutting through half-closed blinds and cold coffee sitting untouched, I placed the binder between us like evidence in a trial they didn't even know they were part of. This stays private, I said, no audience. My dad opened it, his face draining of color. We thought Marcus was helping with some of this, he murmured. I turned the binder toward him. Here's 3 years of transfers, from my account to your mortgage. My mom's hands trembled as she flipped through page after page, groceries, utilities, insurance, phone bills. 3 years of me holding them up while they pushed me down. You banned me from Thanksgiving until I apologized, so I stopped paying for the holiday you celebrated without me, and I'm done funding a family that's ashamed of me. The front door opened. Marcus walked in like nothing had changed until he saw the binder. You're really doing this to them? He asked, like my boundary was an attack instead of survival. I slid a page toward him, his messages highlighted. All the I'll pay you back promises that turned into silence. His eyes moved across the page, but he had nothing to say. You can call it betrayal, I told him. I call it a boundary. My dad rubbed his forehead. We didn't realize how much... No, I interrupted, standing up. Sitting made me feel small again. You didn't want to realize. You wanted me to fix everything without ever treating me like an equal. I'm not asking for the money back. They both looked surprised, like I had just taken away their last excuse. I'm just done being your bank, I said, tapping the binder. There are instructions in there. You're adults. Handle your own bills. Marcus tried again. You can't just leave them like this. I let out a quiet, tired laugh. I'm not leaving them. I'm treating them like capable adults. The same goes for you. He looked away first. What about Christmas? My dad asked softly. I'll see how I feel, I said, and for once I meant it. Walking out into that bright afternoon felt like stepping into a new life, one where my worth wasn't tied to how much I gave. For the first time in 3 years, I felt light. In the weeks that followed, the family group chat filled with awkward questions about bills, no one volunteering to fix them. Marcus sent one eye roll emoji, then disappeared. My mom texted me a casserole recipe like nothing had happened. I didn't reply. And for once, the silence didn't hurt. It freed me. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is stop doing what's slowly destroying you, even if others call it selfish. Have you ever had to set financial boundaries with family who took your kindness for granted? Share your story in the comments. Someone out there needs to hear it. If this story reminded you that no is a complete sentence, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about choosing yourself over toxic family dynamics. Remember, boundaries aren't cruelty. They're self-respect with a backbone.